What's going on, guys? This is the Entrepreneur here today with a new video. Today, what we're gonna do is the top 10 fragrances that grew on me in 2017. So I have done a video similar to this in the past. It was, I think it was fragrances that took time with me. That was a list of 10 fragrances that just took time for me to appreciate to varying degrees. These are 10 fragrances that have just really grown on me this year and are worth checking out, and to serve as a reminder just to keep sampling. You never know, your nose is always growing, and hopefully you enjoy, hopefully you get some good suggestions for stuff to check out in the future. Let's crack into the list, guys. There will be an honorable mention in the description as always, but at number 10 we've got, I think, the most expensive one on this list. This one is from Rochat Man. It is Creation E, or Enigma as it's called in Europe. Enigma, beautiful, cognac, spiced vanilla. Really amazing juice, guys. I got my sample and I really liked it right off the bat. I wasn't sure if it was wearable though for a younger, more less mature guy, I should say. I came to the conclusion that it is. I'm still not sold on a bottle, but you know, I wasn't sure, like I said, if a younger guy could pull this off. And you know what? It grew on me just wearing it on my hand now and then. It's a really good fragrance, guys, and it's one of the must-tries from the super expensive niche stuff. So at number 10, Rochat Man, Enigma. At number 9 is another one that I liked right from the start. This is one that I actually have a bottle of. This is another niche. This is the cheapest niche in my collection. I talk about it quite a bit. From Shea & Blue, it is Salt Caramel at the 9 spot. This is the best caramel scent I've ever smelled. That's pretty crazy in a world of Serjoff Lira, Parfums de Marly Habdan. This is the best in my not so humble opinion. It's just a salty caramel. It's super good. It's super wearable. And this fragrance, I've always liked it. Now I love it. It just grows on you. It's so wearable. It's so easy to wear as a guy or a girl. I think it's super sexy on both. And it's super cheap. What's not to love? This is the reason I sold my bottle of Serjoff Lira. Just didn't need it. Like, Salt Caramel is way cheaper, and in my opinion, it's just slightly better. So that's Salt Caramel from Shea & Blue, guys, at number 9. At number 8 is another one that I always kind of liked. I believe when I did my top 10 designers of all time list, this was in that list. I think it was number 6. This is from Jean-Paul Gaultier. This Le Mal Eau Fraîche. So this was already my number 6 designer of all time. This is, by the way, this is basically just a bubblegum take on the original. It's very less mature, but it's still amazing. It's still got that basic DNA. And like I said, this was number 6 on that list. I liked this from the moment I smelt it. But this year, this has quickly grown into probably in my top 3 designers of all time. This is really amazing. It gets compliments. It's super easy to wear in the warmer months. It's just very well done. It smells great. It's an absolute monster. Great alternative to the original Le Mal. This is at number 8, Le Mal Eau Fraîche. At number 7, back into the niche. This one is one that I have talked about, I believe, in my Tom Ford video. This is from his private blends, Tobacco Vani at number 7. So Tobacco Vani, if you don't know, I used to think this was horrible. I just couldn't stand it. The tobacco was too sweet, just sharp. Nah, not for me. But as I was doing some testing earlier this year, I started appreciating it from a different sense. Tobacco Vani, when you think about it this way, is actually quite beautiful. Like a smoky vanilla marshmallow kind of type vibe. It's almost a gourmand. It's real close. And when you really approach it that way and don't focus so much on that super sharp tobacco note, and you appreciate, well, all the things going on, the cacao as well, there's dried fruits. It's an amazing fragrance, guys. I'm not sold on its wearability for me, but it jumped from 0 to not quite hero. So Tobacco Vani at number 7, it's great. I know a lot of guys struggle with the same thing that I did, which is the sharpness of that tobacco. Give it a chance. Give it a good chance, give it some time. I'm sure you will at least grow to appreciate it, if not like it. So that was Tom Ford Tobacco Vani at number 7. At number 6 is another one from one of my favorite niche brands, from by Kilian. This is straight to heaven. Straight to heaven. I actually have it on my hand right now. It's boozy cedar and spice. This stuff's magic, man. I always liked this as well. I never really thought this was bad. I just thought it was, nothing special. Well, recently this has really grown on me, and it's probably going to be a bottle. This is so wearable. This is so easy to like, even for the more designer guys and girls, which we all know is super important. Even for those people, this is so good and so easy to like. You just can't ignore it. It's so classy as well. Formal, dates, I mean, you could wear it casually, but it's expensive, so From By Killian, straight to heaven at number 6. This just made such a big jump for me, like I said, from kind of afterthought to I want a bottle. I had to put it at the number 6 spot. At number 5, from the often talked about house of Chanel, this is from the Allure Homme line. This is Allure Homme Sport Eau Extreme. So, you may have seen from past videos that I've done, I used to think that this was absolutely disgusting. I smelled it when I started my fragrance journey. I smelled it on paper. Terrible. Still, I think it's terrible on paper. I stick to that. But this year, I tried it to get on skin, and the tonka bean is just so amazing. The tonka and citrus, the cream, it's so good. It's so creamy. It's so likable. It's so wearable. It performs well. Even the reformulated juice performs pretty well. It's great. I've gone from saying that this was awful and probably Chanel's worst release to saying that this is probably the best from the Allure Homme, maybe the best from Chanel. So this is why you always try on skin, I guess, because you never know, right? Anyway, at number 5, from Chanel, Allure Homme Sport Eau Extreme. At number 4, back into the niche world. This is one from a house I never talk about, never ever. It's from Byredo, and it's Gypsy Water. So I have this one on my left hand, actually. Byredo Gypsy Water is really good. I don't quite get the name Gypsy Water, but it is so good. It's creamy, it's lemony, it's a little bit woody, coniferous kind of. I think I just saw that word in a book, so I thought I'd sound fancy, but it does smell woody a bit. This has got a lot of transitions to it. It's super wearable. The people I've got to smell this just on my hand, they love it. They love it. My only real gripe with Gypsy Water is that it doesn't perform super well. It lasts about 6 hours, which is fine for me, but it doesn't push out from the skin much at all. Still, I think this would be a great date, close encounters, and casual scent, guys. This one, as of now, is pretty high up on my buy list. So, at number 4, from Byredo, it's Gypsy Water. At number 3 is one that I used to own. I kind of wish I didn't sell my bottle now, but what can you do? Out of all the ones I've sold, this is the only one that I regret. From Amouage, at number 3, Reflection Man. So, I tried this again a few months ago. I sold my bottle, I think, in March, and man, it's so good. And the best thing about Reflection Man is that it's so easy to wear. Reflection Man is a floral, sandalwood, a little bit of spice to keep it masculine and wearable. It's really good. It's really wearable. It's gotten mad compliments for me in the past. I don't know. I feel like a combination of the hype and the reputation that this fragrance get, plus at the time I did kind of love Parfums de Marly Pegasus. That one's kind of fallen out for me, honestly. I now prefer Reflection Man, but yeah, at the time I loved Pegasus more than I did Reflection Man. They are quite similar, especially in their vibes and general smells. Plus, that combined with some of the attention that Reflection Man gets, just wasn't feeling it. Sold my bottle. I would never buy a reformulated version of Reflection Man, I'll tell you that much, guys. If you are going to go for a bottle of Reflection Man, go for the non-magnetic caps, the old one, or try some of the clones. I know Alexandria does a clone. I'll be curious to see how good that is. I've really found myself leaning towards the more wearable niche, and Reflection Man is just that, a wearable niche to the max. Very, very good. Very, very highly complimented. It's coming back into the collection. I couldn't tell you when, but it is coming. A non-reformulated version, Reflection Man at number 3. So the top 2 I actually own bottles of, which is pretty cool. So I can show you guys some real stuff here. This one at number 2 is the last designer on this list. This has gone from I don't want this anymore, but it's too cheap to sell, to I think this is better than a lot of niche fragrances. You might have just saw the bottom of it there. This is from Rochat, and it's Rochat Man. So, Rochat Man, it's like a coffee, cappuccino, vanilla, little lavender thing. Very similar to Bond No. 9 New Harlem. I used to think that New Harlem was better. Now I don't. I personally enjoy this way more. It's almost the same quality to my nose, and the smell with the added vanilla, and I find it's a bit lighter than New Harlem. It's a bit more wearable, a little more seductive as well. I find this better than New Harlem, to my nose anyway. This was my number 1 cheap date scent for men. I stand by that. It works. Girls love it. It's easy to love. It's sweet and it's good. It's subtle. I don't know why I just looked over this one. It's been sitting in my collection so long, and I just wished it was New Harlem, but I compared the two, and this is the winner. So anyway, at number 2, fragrances that grew on me this year, Rochat Man. So at number 1, if you've been following my channel, you probably know what it is. This is another one from Tom Ford. It's another one I have a bottle of. It's another niche fragrance. This is Magic from Tom Ford, Plum Japonais. So, Plum Japonais, quickly to sum, it's a smoky, spicy plum. There's incense and cinnamon as well as the plum. It's so good. I'll tell you how this happened. So, this year, I was watching a top fall list video. I think it was Frag Boy Stewie's fall video. And I might be mistaken, don't quote me on that, but I think Plum Japonais was at the top, maybe even number 1. And I said, huh, I haven't smelled Plum Japonais in a while. I always thought it was just terrible. I hate plum, minus single malt from by Killian. So anyway, I went and I tried Plum Japonais. I still had a little decant of it from when I tried it originally. I was like, huh? You mean you don't own this? Why? This is so good. This is so good. It's so dark and seductive and beautiful. This is probably going to be my signature scent next year. I love it that much. It's so easy to wear, but at the same time, it is dark and seductive. I wouldn't wear this in the high heat, but like I said, it's not my favorite fragrance of all time, but it's definitely up there, and it's so easy to wear with just about any outfits. Yeah, it's amazing. It's so good. It's seductive. It gets compliments. I don't know what other awesome praise I can give to Plum Japonais other than I already have, but yeah, this is, in my opinion, the prime reason why you should try fragrances over and over again. As your nose gets a little better, a little more refined, you just never know what's gonna happen. And I was sure not expecting to pick up a bottle of Tom Ford Plum Japonais this year, but lo and behold, here we are. This is, I think I called it my number 6 niche of all time. It might be number 5, but anyway, it's absolutely beautiful and a must try for any lover of plum, any lover of smoke, spice. This is my number 1 because it went from absolutely nothing, it was just in my sample box, sitting there, not seeing any use, to one of my favorite fragrances right now and highlighting a lot of my lists. And anyway, guys, if you haven't checked out Plum Japonais, you have to. It's that good. So that was my number 1 spot, Plum Japonais, of fragrances that grew on me this year of 2017. Well, that's been my list, guys. And if there was one message I could leave you with, I would say don't stop sampling. Don't give up. If there's something that a lot of people enjoy, or even some people enjoy, you never know, and you're like, oh, it's terrible, I hate it, it's disgusting, try it again. Try it again after years, after a year, after a month, whatever. As your nose progresses, you never know. It might change like these 10 have for me. So guys, that was my list, like I said. Let me know down in the comments, what did you think of my 10 picks? Do you love any of them as much as I do? Did some of them take time with you as well? And also let me know some fragrances that grew on you this year. This has been The Scentrepreneur. If you enjoyed this video and haven't done so already, I would encourage you to please subscribe down below to my YouTube channel. there is new content coming out all the time. There is top lists like this, reviews, hauls, first impressions, tons of amazing seasonal content, tons of amazing end of the year content like you're watching right now, the works. Also, if you had fun with this particular video and you decided to try some of your samples sitting in your closet, I would encourage you to toss this video a big thumbs up down below. That would be amazing. Also, if seeing more of me appeals to you, I would encourage you to add me on Snapchat and you'll get to see more of these fragrances, more of my other fragrances, and more of just life stuff in general. One last thing, don't forget to hit that bell icon so you can see whenever I produce a new video. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this one. I hope, like I said, that you're digging away in your sample trunk as we speak and you're picking out ones that you'd previously ruled off. I hope you find a gem. I'll see you in the next video. Have an awesome day.